Howdy, it's Kevin with Earth 2 Mastery, and tonight we try to take over the world. So grab your cinnamon swirl candle because this video is going to be lit. All right, guys, this is just a quick reaction video to the terrain system video that Earth 2 just put out. It's been highly anticipated. We've been waiting for it, and I could not wait till later tonight to make a video on it. I had to get into it right away. So what I wanted to do is take a look at what some of the other people thought during the live review, as well as share my thoughts on it. So let's get into it. First things first, I've got my discount code in the description down below. After you see this video, you're going to want to buy some new tiles, so please use that code. I greatly appreciate it when you do. It supports my channel and helps me grow in the game. If you do use the code, leave a comment down below and like the video. I'll be picking from those comments to award a tile in one of our guild properties tomorrow. I have a winner from last night's video. I'll announce it at the end of this video, so stick around and see who won. All right, guys. So we saw the terrain video release, and it was, in my opinion, completely amazing. I have not played, maybe somebody else has. There's bigger gamers than I have. I have not played a game with such clear graphics. I was totally shocked when I started watching it, and I was like, this looks a little bit grainy. And then I realized it was the settings on my phone. It was the settings on YouTube. And I had to go into HD. So if you were not impressed with the graphics that they showed us in that little biome, that terrain video that they gave us, that snippet of what they're working on, go back into YouTube and make sure that your settings are such that you are watching it in HD. Because I did not see it in HD at first, and I was like, what is this? I made sure it was in HD, and then I was like, ah. All right, so obviously, like everybody else, I was hoping to see snippets of the whole world. I was corrected in a Facebook group, and they said that in January, they told us they were only going to show one biome. And I said, well, I missed that announcement about the announcement. So I was a little bit surprised that we didn't get to see more portions of the world, as you'll see other people were. But what we did see was fantastic. Okay, so right here we've got Robert says it's a good start, and Tehun agrees with him, or Tejin, I'm not sure how he pronounces that, and Brandon also says it's a good start. I think it's a great start. It's an amazing start. Shane says that they have more of that, more of that built, but this was just the first thing that they were ready to release. It was a place, it's a real place that they were showing us in Austria. So it's amazing because it looks real and it's from a real place. You'll see, if you haven't watched it yet, when you watch it in HD, you could be watching a movie. You don't know if it's actual drone footage. When they zoom in on the rocks that are on the ground, like when you're seeing the hills with the rocks in a little bit of a distance, that could absolutely be real drone footage. When they got down to the ground and you could see the rocks on the ground, the plants were very detailed. They were very impressive. The rocks were a little bit smooth on the ground, but not something you would notice, especially when you're just walking along. It's not up there in front of you in your field of view. Dylan Sow said he can't wait to, he would like to see this video in VR. Shane says this is where he flies around during, when he's trying to cool down, when he's trying to get a break. So clearly it is available in VR. Because it seems that Shane is flying around in VR. Dylan apparently hasn't gotten to experience it in VR, which I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that such an integral person in the team, as far as being an advisor, probably being an investor, has not been able to experience the stuff in VR like Shane has. But maybe I'm just mixed up on that. Maybe he was saying that we should see it in VR. Maybe Shane actually doesn't see it in VR. Maybe he just goes on the computer and flies through it listening to the sounds, because the sounds were actually pretty amazing too. And what I feel like was the best part about it was that I couldn't see a pattern repeating itself in the game. It was the trees were far enough apart that they looked unique. Now, I'm sure there's probably some pattern to them eventually. If you covered a big enough area, you might be able to see another tree that looks the same. But even when they zoom out, when they're flying through, there was no recognizable repeating pattern, which is something that is noticeable when somebody has designed a game, right? So it looked like it was more randomly generated than what most games do, because you couldn't really see that, oh, okay, here's that line of rocks and here it is again over here. So it looked more randomly generated, just like nature. So it made it look more real. But okay, so these guys thought it was a good start. I think it's a great start. This Bari says, damn, looks real. I mean, that's basically what I'm saying, is that if you don't use your eyes to zoom in and really inspect one spot, it's going to look real. It just looks, it looks real. It looks like a real drone video when I was watching it on my phone and the computer. If you were in VR, I'm sure that it would be very easy to get immersed in it, because it's realistic enough that you probably wouldn't even notice the little animation details unless you really stop to inspect one spot. So, one question that I do have, because it's so amazing, is what type of hardware is going to be required to get those results. They said that video was running in real time. It was not CGI. And that's pretty cool. But what I need to know is, are they going to have a scaled down version that isn't so realistic, so that people can run it on their phone with more of a poor internet connection, like I experience a lot of times? Can people use a regular PC to play it instead of a gaming PC, right? Like, are they going to be able to scale those graphics down to where they aren't quite as clear, but maybe a little more pixelated, but at least people can still play it if they don't have a $2,500 gaming rig? That's my question. And also, if it were VR, does the current VR systems that are out there, say the Oculus Quest 2, which isn't top of the line, but it definitely isn't the worst one out there. It's probably the most mainstream. It's probably got the biggest user base, because you could just go into the Oculus store and download apps. Are those going to be capable of generating these type of graphics at the speed at which this video was moving? I don't think they will. I think that some of the hardware is going to have to catch up to this engine, as far as not the hardware that exists, but the hardware that we are using, because we're going to have to progress in the hardware that we have readily available to us. The price points are going to have to come down a little bit in order to get users around the world. They're going to have the hardware that can run what we just saw in VR. Okay, so he says it looks real. Xavier says, now I don't know which Earth I'm in. Xavier, I feel that way sometimes when I get out of VR, and the VR graphics aren't even near as good as what we saw in this video. If they were, I don't know. It's like waking up from a dream. I'm going to have to do a video about that, because it definitely makes you question reality, right? Bianca says, with the world 80% water, shame there was no snippet of that. Yeah, I agree. I was really hoping to see some water too, even if it was just a stream, a babbling brook. I have a lot of coastline. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people focus on beachfront property. And so here we go. We have Adam saying, can we see beachfront? And Marco saying, where is the water? So clearly people were excited about water, seeing how the water moves, seeing what it sounds like, hearing what it sounds like. And I was too, obviously I was hoping they did zoom out and show that there was water. They had a whole Earth rendered. You could see the stars when they were going out into space. It's very impressive what they showed us here. Obviously, we're all hungry for more, especially with the suspense that we were in waiting for this video. But I think that I think most of us are happy with what we saw. Hansel is. He says, I love what I'm seeing so far. So, he realizes how great this is going to be, assuming that everything else on Earth is as good as what we just saw. It's going to be an amazing place. I mean, literally, you're going to be able to go in there and spend hours and still not get bored. You're going to be able to experience nature without having to be in the elements. So you could be climbing snowy mountains without having to worry about freezing. You could be swimming in the ocean, hopefully looking at the sea life without having to worry about coming back up for air. That's what I hope to accomplish with a VR version of this, is that you're going to be able to do things that you wouldn't be able to do. You're going to be able to go and see hopefully somebody has rebuilt something like the Eiffel Tower. You're going to be able to go and see the Eiffel Tower, the pyramids, without leaving your living room. And that's what I'm after. In fact, I was watching a video in VR the other day called Ecosphere. It was all about rescuing animals, elephants in Kenya, I believe is where it was at. And it's like the elephants were right there with you. I mean, I literally felt myself wanting to reach out and touch the baby elephants because they seem like they're right there with you. And that's how it's going to be with everything that everybody's able to build in Earth 2. Okay, Sandra wants to know when we can start mining. Yeah, we all want to start mining. We want to see what our land is producing. In fact, David says there will be any diamond pickaxe. Obviously, that's a Minecraft reference. I'll tell you right now, David, that if I can, I will make a diamond pickaxe for you. So find me in game once we're able to produce stuff, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. Let's see here. Nathan says, could you show the moon, please? So, it's an interesting concept. I want to buy. I'm going to be, forget Dubai. I want to buy on the moon. When they start selling plots on the moon, I'm going to be the first one there. I'm going to be like, I want to see that. I'm going to start asking them, when are you going to release the moon? When are you going to release the moon? When we were flying out into space, you could see that they had stars. Clearly, the moon is going to be there somewhere. They've already said that there is going to be daylight and nighttime in the game, and that it's going to coincide with actual time zones. So hopefully it doesn't go daylight and dark around the whole world at the same time. I'm hoping that I can be dark in New York City and then go to Israel and it's daylight, right? I hope I could jump through my portal and go somewhere where it's daylight, so that if it's dark where I'm at and I can't really see, maybe it's not so light, I could go somewhere else where I can see and continue playing and working in the game. But we'll see how that works out. Okay. What the F? I missed my daughter's birth for this video. Sorry, Lars. Sorry you're disappointed. But she's going to be very happy that you're involved in the game in a few years when she realizes that she's rich. And I hope that's what happens for all of us. Anyway, you can probably replay her birth in VR if anybody got it taped. Recorded. Taped obviously is showing my age. Let's see here. Gianpaolo says, why the hell are you all so obsessed with Dubai? It is totally overrated here and in real world. Well, I don't know if it's overrated in the game yet because it hasn't been released. I've never been there in the real world, so I can't speak to that. But what I will say is that it's going to give a lot of people a chance to get in early into an area, that they didn't have because they didn't realize that Earth 2 was actually a website, or they weren't sold on it, so they didn't get in as soon as they saw it. So this is an opportunity for some people that came later to the game to get some land early in a country that is going to grow very quickly. That doesn't mean that they couldn't get in early in other countries, because there's still a lot of countries right now that have inexpensively priced tiles that are going to rise exponentially in the future, I believe. But this gives them that excitement of getting in somewhere early. So I'm happy that Dubai is getting released soon for those people. And obviously, I'm going to try to get in there too, assuming the website doesn't crash. And let's see, did Shane have an announcement about Dubai during the live release of the train video? Let's see what he had to say.
Probably as well. I'll just announce something here.
Oh, is it going to be Dubai?
No.
He's going to announce.
Not Dubai.
Oh, not Dubai. Okay, well, I thought maybe we'd get a Dubai announcement, but all he was saying was that in a couple of weeks we'll get another video, and hopefully that's when some of us get to see our beachfront property biome. So I'm pretty excited that in a couple of weeks we get to see another video. Hopefully, the suspense isn't as crazy, but we already saw now some of the mountains and some of the woods in Austria. Let's show us some of our beachfront next time. That's what I'm hoping for in that video. In between these two videos, maybe Dubai gets open and we're able to buy some tiles there, assuming that our internet connections are good, the site doesn't crash, and we're all able to get some new tiles there. Okay, so let me see, well, actually, I want to see what you guys have to say about the video too. See about the terrain. You guys probably play games that I don't play. Maybe you've been in games with higher definition and are more impressed or not as impressed with the terrain as I was. Leave a comment down below to let me know what you think about the terrain and also which biome you would like to see next. Okay, I've got the winner from last night's video. It's Adam Lear. Won a tile in Grenada. So Adam, get a hold of me through private message in Discord or Facebook. Links to the guild properties and also the Discord are in the description. Links to a Facebook group that I run, so you can find me there in private message, are in the description as well. So when you need to get a hold of me, you can find me through one of those sources, because YouTube doesn't always give me notifications when I get comments. All right, guys, I hope you had as good of a time waiting and watching the terrain videos I did, and I will talk to you tomorrow.